So firstly, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name's Colin Edmondson. I'm the Wheat Technical Manager for Pacific Seeds. Now, I've been involved in the long-reach breeding program selecting and breeding wheat since its inception in 2002. So thanks for giving me some of your time to provide a bit more details about Cobra. Some background about Cobra's breeding. Cobra is a WA bred and selected variety. Now, we released it in 2012. It's a Westonia cross. So what you know about that is it's based on a variety that's been widely adapted and grown right across WA. How's it been received by growers up until now? Small number of growers received some seed in 2011 season and test trialled the variety. And we really tried to make sure that was as widely spread as we could. Then Cobra became the #1 sought after variety bought by growers in the start of 2012. So what that meant is that growers have got seed crops right across, widely distributed across Western Australia. Now, it's going to be a significant part of the state's crop production being planted for this 2013 season. A bit about the bottom line, starting with the yield performance of Cobra, and I'd encourage you, look up the data from long-reach trials, from MVT trials, grower groups in the area, and as well as growers who've already had Cobra on the farm. There's plenty of information out there about how it's yielded and where it does and doesn't do well. It showed its hand best in 2011 season, and really it showed what it can do, which is top yield trials. It should be considered as that upside variety on the farm, the variety which can turn a season with some good opportunity into maximum yield. Now, it's going to be a solid performer in tight years when seasons push varieties, but it really delivers in seasons which have got the upside and the good years in them. Quality, grade and reliability, where does Cobra fit in with that? It's classified AH in Western Australia. Long-term data shows Cobra to have solid grain specs. And I think speed of its grain filling is an important part of that to allow it to finish a good grain sample. It's a very rapid grain filler. Cobra's got slightly smaller grain than Westonia, but it's similar in other specs like test weight and sprouting to Westonia. Sound for black point. Key features of Cobra's disease profile. Ratings for the major diseases are widely published in WA, so I'll just touch on a few points. What does Cobra excel at? Cobra's strengths are it's very good for stem and leaf rust. Now, you'd expect that with any variety you bring in on the farm. It's got good yellow leaf spot levels, and it's also seen as a strength. Coping with a wheat-on-wheat situation has been an important part of rotations in Western Australia, and Cobra's well placed to do that. Long reach rating for yellow spots, MRMS. Other areas where Cobra's solid, it's an improvement for powdery mildew on varieties like wild catchman and mace. Stripe rust wise, it's solid. It's got adult plant resistant genes and really performs similarly to wild catchman, with some temperature responsive adult plant resistance, which improves as the temperature of the season heats up. Has an intermediate CCN rating, so a little bit of background. CCN can be useful in some areas, but MRMS for CCN. Growing Cobra on farm. What is it like and where does it fit? Cobra is similar to a few WA wheats, but they're jumbled together. It's similar to Westonia in the way it bangs out heads and its speed in the way it grows. It's similar to wild catchman in regards to its height. And in maturity-wise, it moves around similar to Carnamar. More often than not, it's an early mid variety in Western Australia. Tends to be best suited to being planted at the front end of the program, so it gets growing and gets tillering. And maximising its early growth is a key part of Cobra's yields. So being widely adapted to WA soil has also been one of the growers' observations of Cobra. And it does stand up well to acidity, and we've noted that this last season in particular when it's really been pushed on some very low acid soils. Other feedback from growers. It's been very positive in 2012 in general. Slightly taller than wild catchman and shorter than mace, but what growers are seeing is it's got a really good fit in with direct drilling and stubble retention systems. And that's based a bit on the height and the way it grows. That's important to fit in with WA's farming systems. I think the one thing which people are left with when they've seen Cobra though, and once you've been bitten by Cobra you stay bitten, but the way it bangs out heads and fills them fast at the end of the year, and that's generally the memory of it as a crop which people take. So getting growing early and getting bulk growing early is a key part of Cobra's yield potential as far as what growers have seen in it last year. So seeds widely available from the Pacific Seed Seed Associate Network and retailers right across WA. Thanks again for giving me your time, and I hope that Cobra will be a success for you on the farm if what we've talked about sounds like it'll be a good fit for you. Thanks.